Chances are, you've heard of the WHO for, well, obvious reasons. But who exactly is the WHO?
Yeah, I love that. Who the WHO is. So the World Health Organization is the specialized health agency of the United Nations.
Our mission at WHO is to promote health, keep the world safe, and serve the vulnerable.
Lately, they've had their hands full trying to turn valuable health information into high-impact educational resources for those who need them.
You can actually see with COVID-19 how rapidly the scientific base is expanding. And in fact, there's a doubling of the evidence every 2 weeks. How can we actually make all this fantastic content that WHO had much more accessible to health workers so that they have one place where they can get anything that they might need and it's very easy to navigate?
So the WHO decided to build a platform to do exactly that.
Embarking on a journey to create the world's first open source learning experience platform is not to be taken lightly.
We had to move quickly, rapidly.
We don't want to reinvent a way which has already been done.
And we're doing it in-house for the first time.
This is completely new to me.
Because when you look at the configuration, you feel like this is never going to happen.
Let's say you're a nurse or a doctor who wants to learn more about an illness or about treating a disease like COVID-19. You find out there's this new learning platform you can go to. Input a set of preferences, including your particular skill set, your experience level, and the topics you're most interested in. Then a machine learning-based model recommends courses to you based on all of the data you've entered, giving you the most relevant information you need to gain new competencies, perform new roles, get credentials, and change healthcare practices and policies for the betterment of all. If this sounds game-changing, it is, because this is how things normally work.
It's taking anywhere between 10 and sometimes 17 years to put recommendations in health into day-to-day practice.
Yikes. The learning platform I just described could change all that by taking up-to-date information and transforming it into educational content for healthcare workers around the world. But here's the problem. It doesn't exist. The WHO would need to build it from scratch. And, if successful, it could be a lifesaver, literally.
We are designing a product, we are designing a solution that will impact the life of everyday health professionals. It's not just tech for the sake of tech. It's human after all. That's why this project is really important.
The team called this platform the LXP, which is short for Learning Experience Platform.
It actually puts a learner in the middle of everything.
And not only did they want to bring it to life, they wanted to make it a thing.
I think it was said best by Barath. He wanted LXP and chill to be a phrase, which makes me think he doesn't really understand what Netflix and chill really means.
Maybe not that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So how do you bring this LXP to life? First, the WHO settled on a way to make it as easily adoptable as possible.
The ambition is to use open source technologies to ensure a minimum cost in reaching people in low-income countries.
Open source means the source code is available to everyone to share and contribute. And while that's a great goal, here's the issue.
We are not an IT company or a product startup.
That's where Red Hat Open Innovation Labs comes in.
Have you ever heard the kind of saying like, teach a man to fish? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to teach villages to make fishing rods.
In other words, Red Hat would give the WHO agile methodologies and open source tools so they could build the platform in a much faster and much more efficient way.
We really strongly believe in collocation, having everybody under the same roof.
That could be a problem with a pandemic happening.
How are we going to bring a team that have never met or never worked with each other and are starting from the beginning?
Different native languages, different cultures, different time zones. I immediately thought, okay, so you guys are going to start working when it's going to be 4 a.m. for me?
Riley was going to need a lot more coffee. Next up was working on the platform itself. The first problem the team needed to solve was, how do you get this platform to different parts of the world where it's difficult to access the internet? How would the learners in those places be able to access the LXP?
One of my conversations with an epidemiologist in Yemen was the need for low bandwidth learning content and courses. because the internet is very spotty there.
The team came up with a solution. What if the LXP was also available on mobile devices, so that it could work on those low bandwidth settings? And what if the learning content could be saved offline? To make that happen, the foundation of the LXP would need to be scalable and adaptive. In addition to accessibility, there was also the question of usability. The WHO wants 10 million learners on the platform by 2023. Creating a user experience that was as easy as possible would be critical if you wanted to see adoption on that scale. So to make sure they were heading in the right direction, the team conducted a series of user experience tests to see how real doctors and nurses might interact with the platform.
99% of the time, it doesn't go as planned.
This front screen, I think it's very empty. So I'm a little bit confused.
The terminology is just a little clunky-ish.
Start learning button should be, I don't know, whatever, green or blue or something else.
If you were to turn this on right now, I'd give it a C-.
So they needed to make a few tweaks.
This experience actually taught me a lesson to say, you know what, this is something you cannot ignore.
They were getting closer to the end goal, the final demo. That would include a presentation to the WHO's senior management, including its chief information officer.
The goal is not just to show them something, but also to give the confidence in the stakeholder that this team can take it forward.
So how did it all go down?
Welcome everybody. My name is Anna Chua and I'm
We had around 50 viewers in the audience.
So I'm going to take you down to the demo.
And this is our first kind of impression.
I hope you all are able to hear me.
We can hear you fine, Krishna.
I could tell that the team was a little nervous.
We are in the back of the room, kind of eating our nails.
So now the user has completed the onboarding. They can start learning right now.
So our application isn't just the front end, but it's made up of all of these other apps.
If I want to do any changes, what I have to do is I just have to make the changes. I have to commit it and I have to push it.
You can see from the video, this is exactly what it's doing. It's clicking around, making sure everything behaves.
And so what we've shown is our ability to implement continuous delivery with quality gates built in.
It's the time to assess how did we do.
And then people started to comment on the chat, and this is where we felt so much better.
Lots of surprised face emojis.
And how did the WHO's chief information officer feel about it?
What I saw was much more than what I had expected. In a very quick turnaround time, we had something developed, something that we could work on, something that we could take to the next level.
In the end, the team's hard work paid off.
I'm elated.
Relieved.
A bit tired, but also very, very proud.
I feel great.
Definitely a rewarding experience.
We discovered technology, we discovered ourselves.
Once we have a good team, we can do anything with them.
So, what's next for the LXP?
In a few months' time, we're going to have health workers getting onto the platform for the first time and actually getting in touch with other people around the world, getting in touch with state-of-the-art learning. Successful society is one that is healthy. The decisions that are made about where we live, how we work, how we move around, all of those things impact our health. So the audience is not just health workers, it's also, it's everybody.